Hiya,
Aye, okay.
how are you?
I'm good, you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Like as good as one can be
Yeah, in this time.
in quarantine.
Yeah.
What are you spending your days doing?
Not much. I've just had a little girl. Me and my
Oh,
partner just had yeah.
congratulations!
So just spending time with her really.
What did you call her?
Darla.
Oh, that's a gorgeous name. That's a real old school name. Oh my God!
Mm.
Oh, what a little dose!
Yeah.
Oh,
So just
congratulations.
spending time with her really and enjoying the time we can.
Well, then it's a great time for you then.
Yeah, that it's made it a little bit more sweeter that we have to stay at home because obviously we get to spend time with her properly.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of like your training and food and stuff like that, how are you getting on?
I haven't done much to be honest with you. I've done runs here and there, and I've done bits of what I can. But I've said this to everybody who keeps asking me. I'm not going to sit here and tell lies. Um, I've been boxing for 15 years. I
Mm,
could I could have 20 bottles of lager tonight and do a 5 mile run tomorrow and get through it. You know what I mean? It's running is just ingrained in us, and
mm,
but then on the flip side to it, for me to do a tough run session or maybe a tough track session, it's hard to get motivated, and also I'm not fit enough to do a
hmm.
hard session. So, but this week I've trained properly. I've had access to punch bags, and I've,
Yeah.
I- I've it was good to finally punch bags, and I've trained properly now. So, I'm gonna really get on it now. I'm gonna start watching my food, and I'm gonna have July in the back of my mind as if I've
Hmm.
got a fight date then, and I'm gonna get ready towards that and start watching my foods, and I'm gonna try and get it into my body now to do 2 sessions a day rather than one every now and then. So I've trained every day this week, so I'm gonna start bringing the 2 sessions a day into it and really concentrate as if I've got a fight in July.
Good stuff. You know, when I put up earlier on that you were going to be coming on the show and we're going to do the live Instagram, the amount of people that message was considerably more than what I've gotten to date.
Yeah,
And the general kind of theme that everyone was saying was a real fighter, a fighter's
yeah,
fighter. How does
yeah,
that make you feel knowing that that's what the fans think and
yeah,
think about you?
yeah. Obviously, that it's a good trait to have, as in it's a good compliment to get. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a footballer. Every footballer wants the award off the teammates. You
Hmm.
want every footballer wants the players' player award when you know your teammates acknowledge it. And for me, that sense is probably what I've always wanted. I've always wanted somebody to remember me like that. Like if I was gone when I'm retired, I hope people sit and think, you know, oh, he really had to go in me. He was always good to watch. He was always gave us all. Never give up. And I never tried to really kid anyone. I never tried to kid anyone that I was doing something I'm not, or robbing people of money. Whereas, like, blagging them I was going to be up for a fight, turning up just for my wages.
Yeah.
I would rather go out on my shield any day of the week.
Well, that's a question that I always bring up in interviews because it's one that really interests me is asking, how would you like to be remembered? And do you feel like you're representing that kind of thought that you would want for yourself? And I suppose you've kind of answered it there. And
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I'd always be like to be remembered. I was if I look back, if it bring you right back, I didn't want to box. I didn't want to be a boxer growing up, and I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, "Oh, I dreamt of being world champion since I was 9, 10 years of age." I never. I dreamt of being a footballer. It was only when I started boxing at 14. Probably when I turned 17, 18, I kind of the penny dropped that I'm probably in a living out of boxing rather than football, and I'm a
mm,
little bit better at boxing than I am at football. So uh, that was when maybe I started dreaming of being a British champion or a world champion. And but now when I look back, I was never blessed with the most ability in the world. I weren't blessed with the biggest punch in the world, but I think I was blessed with a heart and a ruggedness to like a fight that you can't really teach. Some people can be
mm,
talented, but mightn't like mightn't like getting hit in the face, and you can't teach heart really. That's
Hmm.
always been, any old man will tell you that, like, like an Alwaz tale, they always say you can't teach heart, and I think I was blessed with that. So, I'd like to be remembered by that. Like, I always gave me all, and I was tough as a nut.
Absolutely. I mean, like to hear you talking about not, there was a time where you weren't really about boxing and, football was kind of like your main focus. I think a lot of fans, because obviously of the family name, your brothers are all boxers,
Yeah.
that the conception or the preconception is that like you walking out of the womb and we're like laced with gloves and ready
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah, no, well, with me was a bit different. Obviously, with Paul started boxing because we lived literally right a stone's throw away from the Rotunda Boxing Club where we all boxed as amateurs, and Paul went, and then I think Stephen was just a younger brother wanting to knock about and follow his older brother, so Stephen followed suit, and then I was just the total opposite. I was just football, and I was like, no, I'm not boxing, and the saying was when I was a kid, I used to say I'm not dieting for no one, and because I was a bit of a chubby kid, that's why I was called Beefy. That's where the name came from. I was fat as a kid, and I was like, no, I'm not dieting for no one, and here we are now, 31 years of age, and it's been my whole career.
So what was it for you? Like what was the kind of the switch in gear, I suppose? Was it
Yeah,
something that you recognized in yourself, or did a coach or someone older than you come to you and say, I see real potential in you?
yeah. There was a couple of things. One was we come home and have tea at night, and the three brothers, Callum started boxing before me, and them three had speak and would laugh about what went on in the gym today or what
Mm,
they done, different sessions, and not that they left me out, but they knew what I'd done. I was out in the street playing football with my mates in front of the house, and it was no different every single day for me. And theirs was like conversations like that, and I'd box with them in the house, but wouldn't go to the boxing gym. So we'd race home from school, I'd fight with them in the house, and then they'd go to the gym, and I'd go out with the football. But two of my friends in junior school started boxing, and by chance I said, "Oh, I'm going to go to the Rotunda," because they went to Kirkdale, and it was like a rival gym. And so I said, "I'm going to go to the Rotunda with my brothers and box one of you two," but not knowing at the time, like the weight difference between us was ridiculous, and I didn't
yeah.
really understand that. So I went to gym, and Jimmy Alba at the time said he's a natural him. He should be a boxer. You want a gym footy, and he was a character Jimmy. So I stayed in, and within 3 months I had my first amateur fight, and then obviously I did like fighting, so I stuck to it.
Well, just as well for us that you
Yeah, I
did,
know,
right?
I know. Yeah,
I mean, when you look back at that time, we hear so many people say when they've, quote unquote, made it, that it's the destination, it's the journey to the world title, it's the journey to getting there. That's where the memories are made and where the best memories are kind of are kept for fighters. What are some of your favorite memories from that time? Obviously, like being with your brothers, like finding a new passion, finding a new sport.
yeah. What I missed the start of your question. Sorry, what did you say at the start? I didn't.
Um, that the journey, the
Yeah,
destination to a world title. People when they look back from their careers, will say retired boxers. They'll say like, I thought that when I got to the destination of the world title and the pinnacle of the money and everything else that came
yeah,
with it, that's where the happiness was. But they realized that it was the journey to getting there
yeah.
and the memories they made.
I definitely agree with that. You know, becoming world champion was the best feeling, the buzz of the night, but I also remember becoming British champion after watching my brothers do that.
Yeah.
So we, if I was to talk you through memories and what the four of us have done, people people still don't know, and probably people don't acknowledge.
Mm.
We probably don't get the appreciation we probably should do, and maybe will do once we're all retired. But if you look back to what the four of us have done, I know I'm going off the question what you've
No,
just
go
asked,
for
but
it. No, not at all.
like I remember seeing Luke Campbell and Tommy Coyle. I forget which one it was before they fought. They were trying to become the first British champion from Hull,
Mm.
and we had three in the one house at one stage. Now, there's four brothers. We've all won British titles, but three of us were British champion at the one time. We had the three belts in the house, and Callum couldn't win it because Paul was the champion at Callum's weight. So, and then Paul vacated and Callum was the next British champion at that weight. So it was just unfortunate because we maybe could have had the 4 belts at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Only Callum and Paul was the same weight. But, we've had 4 British champions. I think we've won 3 Commonwealth titles, European title. Me and Callum have both been world titles. Me and Callum are the only 2 British brothers to become world champions, which is a thing that a lot of people don't know. And the 4 of us have all challenged for world titles.
Mm-hmm.
We fought all over the world: Monaco, Saudi Arabia. We fought in lots of Vegas, New York. Paul's fought Andy Ward in San Francisco. We've ticked a lot of boxes for one family, and when we sit back, when we're old men and we sit back around the table, I think we look back and think, we done well.
So, why do you think it is that you haven't been given the recognition? Do you think that's just the way that it is, or
yeah, no,
and
I don't mean that as we don't get the respect we deserve. I don't mean it in that sense. I just think, like, people know how tough the game is, and maybe because we're still around now, and we're still boxing. Me and Callum are still fighting. Stephen's, still fighting, coming towards the end of his career, and Paul's retired. So maybe when with the Smith brothers are still branded about, so maybe when the 4 of us are retired, and people go, "I remember them Smith brothers. They done well, then, didn't they?" So maybe when it's said and done, and like I say, I think we'll probably do a book, maybe a documentary. I don't know, but we've got some stories. We've travelled the world together, and as the 4 of us are as a one, and we've I think maybe when it's all said and done, that's when it might be spoke about a bit more. But we're still adding to it. We're still adding to what we can talk about. We're still trying to, because I'm still trying to become world champion again, and we're yet to see what Callum's going to do.
Well, with that, could you put down on paper what it is, what the recipe has been, or the magic potion, if you want,
I'd probably say
the
my mum.
success? Wow.
I'll probably have to say my mum. My dad. My dad is obviously the one who loved the boxing. People say, "Was your dad a boxer?" No, he weren't. He's loved it all his life, but I think he had 3 amateur fights. But my mum's the tough nut in our house. My mum's she's the backbone. So I'd probably say my mum.
Can you remember her? Or when you think back about her being the backbone, what was it? Was it, that she had this belief in you, or that she instilled something in you when you were younger to let you know that you were, because every mum says to their kids, you're going to be whatever you want to be, or you're the best.
This is probably going to go back on what I've just said, because she hates it. She's never been to she won't go and watch us, and she won't watch on the telly. She hates it, and my mum's happiest day will be the day the 4 of us retire. That'll be her happiest day of her life. And I think probably, no mother wants the sons getting punched in the face, but as much as she hates it, I think she's very proud of it. I think she's very proud of the life it's led for the 4 of us. It probably helped in the discipline and the men we became, today. I think boxing played a big part in the 4 of us. But when I say she was the backbone, you've got to, if you look back and you think, when the 4 of us lived together and the 4 of us were going to the amateur gym every day, we say we'd go to school, we'd come home, we'd get changed, go to the gym, then get changed into your training clothes, then get changed again, home, maybe shower before bed. And, maybe 4 lads are using 3 towels a day. We're using school uniforms, training kits, just normal day-to-day clothes. We're using 3 different outfits a day also. And you've got to understand the washing she went through. I know every mum cooks meals, but she had a lot with four lads, and we weren't 4 dreams. We weren't 4 quiet lads as kids. We were very active, and we were boxing in the house, so we were probably a nightmare to be around. But
well, I hope she gets a full chapter in your book when it does come out.
She will do. Yeah, she will.
Throughout your career, probably more so when you turned professional, did you do, or did you practice visualization? Was that a part of your kind of regime?
No, it wasn't. I think it's coming. It's more like how can you put it? Like the science in sport is more. it's more known now. Maybe the last couple of years, like I know it's not the same, but like the strength and conditioning parts of it is not just lifting weights no more. There's a lot more like sports science, and a lot of people are seeing mind coaches, and a lot of that will bring into visualizing.
Yeah.
So no, not so much in the past. I'm trying bits of it now, and positive stuff now, and thinking in the long run now. That's come to play a little bit more now.
I think because you're one of the very few people that reaches world title status, and as sort of fans of boxing, of combat sports in general, there's always a fascination with what separates you from those that don't make it.
Yeah. I'll say this to a lot of people. There'll be fighters who was a lot more talented than me, punched harder than me, but didn't have the desire, didn't have the heart, didn't have the hunger that I have, and then vice versa. And I'll be like that with other people. But luck comes into play. You need a lot of luck with everything, and people are not interested in what goes on behind closed doors. People will just either sit in the arena or sit on the couch and watch what goes on in the 36 minutes of your fight. Now, the luck, and you need everything to run smoothly, but your pathway towards that, 36-minute fight. And a lot of things don't get mentioned, a lot of things people are not interested in. Now, if I had to lose a fight on Saturday but told you I never had no sleep at all the night before, I was in hospital with somebody, or and people are not interested. People think, so what, you lost?
Yeah.
And I look back to the Munguia fight, and I have visa issues. I never got to Vegas till like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and fought for the world title on Saturday. I went across the world at 8-hour time difference, and people don't know that, but people also don't care about that. You know what I mean? The fight happens and you're lost. So there is awful lot of luck involved in injuries, in opportunities, in moments, in fights, but then the perspective and the bits that you can, are in your hands, you have to do. You have to give it 100%. You have to be so focused, so determined, and then, like I say, some people aren't blessed with the best ability or the biggest punch, but you have to work with what you have, and I feel certainly I've done very well with what I had. What skill set I had, what hunger and what desire I had. I think I got the best out of it.
Because I think, it was like 32 fights you've had now, professional, is it?
Yeah.
So when we look at, your career, like obviously only 2 losses on that record, which is, and 2, as you say, Munguia and Canelo, like not 2 bad losses to have, when you look at it. But you've been in the game for so long, and you've seen, I imagine a whole lot in terms of the business of boxing, and probably one of the biggest changes or dramatic changes that I would imagine you've seen is the role of social media that's played in a boxer's career. What's your thoughts on it? Because there's a lot of opinions on that you have fighters who are social media fighters, and then the real fighters. And I mean, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are you happy that you experienced the start of your career kind of without it?
Yeah, I'm like I say, I'm on social media, but I don't. It won't. Social media will not ruin my day, and I know people like that. It comes back to before what I mentioned to you about mindsets and just being focused, not letting. I think Amir Khan touched on it. Imagine Amir Khan took notice of all the posts he had, and again, I couldn't read a social media post I read or a comment slagging me on my social media wouldn't ruin my day, and it's hard to say because I love the positive ones, and for your fans, where I'm so still. I hate the word humble, but I mean, like, no, so down to earth. I love a good message can make me day. You know what I mean? A good message can make me day, but a bad one couldn't ruin it. Someone slagging me couldn't ruin me day. And just seeing somebody, whether they mention autism, whether they mention anything, good on a positive side. I think not like job done, but at least I'm I'm making a note in somebody's somebody's day or somebody's life, and if it's a positive thing, then I'm happy doing so. But I just know in day-to-day life, social media is a powerful thing now, whether it be selling a business, whether it be sponsorship opportunities, whether it be selling tickets for shows. I just know it's becoming a big thing now, social media, so it has to be done, really.
You mentioned there the word humble, and that's definitely one of the qualities that a lot of boxing fans would put into when they describe you. There seems to be a common thread with Liverpool fighters that there is an almost, there's a total amount of humility that always comes with the fighter, no matter how successful that they are. Do you put that down to Liverpool, or what is it? Is it because it's a working class city?
Yeah, that's what I think I put it down to. Maybe it's the city. It's not really the sport or the person. I think it's down to the city we come from. You go big headed, you'll be told about it. And there's been many before you in the same boat. There'll be many after you. And I'll just put as far as I think I won a world title. I might be wrong. It was 20-something years, 21 or 22 years since the last world champion in Paul Hodgkinson. Now, it was great for me at the time, but I couldn't get too far ahead because I knew one would become short, one would come after me, and Tony Bellew come not long after me, and then Callum's come after Bellew then. So, we've had world champions, and, unfortunately we should have had more world champions because with the boxers we've produced some very, very good fighters over the years who should have won world titles. But take the world titles aside, we've produced some very good boxers, and that's where if somebody goes on to do well now, they can't really get too ahead of themselves because somebody else has done it. Probably someone else alongside who's doing it now from Liverpool as well. So it's success breeds success, and I think somebody looking at someone doing well and being humble, they're thinking, you know what, and I want to be like that, and that's where I think we're all rubbing off on each other. And yeah.
Absolutely. In terms of when we look at the world title, I mean, obviously, we know that the aim is to get that world title back. Is it better to have, if we look at, just say the opportunity doesn't come again, is it better to have gotten it and lost it than to never have experienced that?
Yeah, of course. I've ticked the box that every boxer now will want to tick. I made the list. I made the list, and asked me, I made the list in boxing what I'd like to do, and I ticked every achievement. I ticked, and then we done another one, which was just like optimistic ones. Box at Anfield, and then two-time world champion. I'm still yet to tick them too, so they're the next ones. Obviously, I kept having to add them, and I would have been happy with a British title. I never wanted to box as a kid, so for me to go and become British champion, I could have retired the next day and been very happy. But I wasn't old enough to retire yet. I was still so, and I become world champion. And I'm sure if you ask every boxer now what they'd want to be, it'd be world champion. I'd tick that box. So I would rather have had it and lost it than never had it before. But I'm at a position now where I would, I'm dying. I'm itching to become world champion again because I know what it would mean. I'd be a two-time world champion. But as long as that now, I'm also 31, and I need to I need to think about me future and obviously me baby. So
absolutely,
I think the money fights now also
a world
possible.
title fight in Liverpool with all your brothers. How good would that be? Like that's an iconic moment. That's the one for the history books,
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, that's one now. It was just unfortunate. I think I'm part to blame for it as well. As in, the four of us never got to share a bill as a pro.
Yeah.
And because I was always with Frank Warren and the other three were with Eddie Hearn. And when I signed for Eddie Hearn, Paul retired. So it was just bad timing. But it would have been a pleasure if four of us sharing a bill.
Yeah, 100%. Not only for boxing fans, but for your family. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it
Like
would. It would have
what
been
a
a
moment.
nightmare. It would have been torture for me mum and my dad, and for fans, because the the pressure and the nerves we get for one to have to go through that 4 times in the one night would be brutal.
Absolutely. Well, listen, while we were talking, everyone has an opportunity to send in questions. So I'm going to have a look at the
Yeah.
question box and see what everyone wants to ask you. But
Okay.
before I do that, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned in your career to date?
Ooh. No, it's a short career. I think now I know I'm past 30. I think trying to remember. Wow, I fought him at 25. I fought him at 22. So I think no, don't waste it. Make every day count, and obviously it's a short career while you're in it. Just give it 100%, and whatever you want to do, you can do after it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I'm going to have a little look. Let me
Okay.
see. We'll get through these. Um, there's loads.
Just
There's
pick the good
loads of
ones.
yeah. There's loads of people saying just serious fighter, what a warrior, love watching you fight.
Thank
People
you.
that have been to see your fights. People asking about the Beefy nickname, but you spoke about that at the start, so they can they can go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Um, what fight for you, not including one of your own, really gets your juices going? Stamford Boxing has asked that.
Yeah, he's a good fella. Ooh. I no, but it's hard to put my finger on a certain fight. There's a lot of fights that I like. There's a lot of fights that I've been there live watching. I can name you some top local fight. When I say local fights, what happens in the UK? Macklin, Jamie Moore, Regis Prograis, and Josh Taylor last time out was a great fight. Obviously, Chisora, Dillian White, but I'd probably say a fighter gets me more when I sit and watch Miguel Cotto. That just gets me. I can watch any one of his fights and that gets me itching to fight. So I'd probably say not so much a fight. I'd say a fighter.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice. Morgo 600 has asked, who has been the biggest influence on you apart from your brothers in boxing?
I'd probably say Jimmy Albo, my old coach, who sadly passed away in the amateurs. He was a big influence in me staying in the gym, boxing, and I love being around him. He was a character, and obviously I had 7 amateur fights under him before he passed away. So I'd probably have to say, Jimmy, and then every coach I've had along the way, I've had their input, and you become very, very close to every coach you have in boxing because you spend a lot of time with them. You're with them twice a day, most days, with your sessions, and you make some big decisions together. So they become very close to you.
Absolutely. Someone has said you could have played for Tranmere Tranmere Rovers.
No, I couldn't. If I could have, I would have. I love football more than I love boxing. So if I could have made a career out of football, then I would have. But I weren't good enough. Just fell short.
There's a really good question here, and it's a girl that she asks every single night when I do a live. She asks the same question, but it's so good I have to ask it. It's from Karen, and she says, if you quarantine for 5 people, who are you choosing? And you can't choose anyone that your family or anything. It's a total
Yeah, I got
in the air.
probably say Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury. The 2 actors out of Step Brothers, Will Ferrell. You know what? I don't
Are
really.
they in? Are they in their stepbrother's character?
Yeah, they have to stay. Yeah, that's why they have to stay in there. I always said Johnny Tapia. The late Johnny Tapia. I would have loved to have been around him. He was a proper character. I got asked the question before, and I said Chris Eubank Senior, just to see what he come up with, what he what conversation he had, what he moaned at, or what he picked on. He's a character, so I'll probably say Chris Eubank Senior.
Can you do any impressions
Oh
of
no,
Chris
I can't.
Eubank
No,
Senior?
no. Wish I
The
could.
Warrior Code.
Yeah, I wish I could.
The final question, because it's a really good one. Stephen has asked, I'm a young amateur boxer and I want to go pro and have a career like you. What advice would you give me?
I just think go pro when you feel it's time to go pro. You know, don't make a decision too early. You know, don't think just because you may be fed up with the amateur, or don't see a person and just think, you know what, he's making money, or I want. Do you have a big win on the telly and just think, oh, I want that? Don't
Yeah.
rush. Don't, you know, make sure you're ready to turn pro. Make sure make sure you're a man. Make sure you've got your man strength. And make sure just everything else is running smoothly for you then to just concentrate on, you know, on boxing. I know some people who have turned professional, then all of a sudden thought, well, I've got mortgages there, and you're not getting. You turn professional, you're not getting good money. You know, a handful of boxers will make good money out of boxing, and again, you need a lot of luck. But to start of a pro career, you know, if you get injured, you're not getting paid. You might have a mortgage there to pay. So then all of a sudden you have to go back to work and then juggle work with training. It'd be very hard to train twice a day and work a job. So just make sure you've got everything in hands, and make sure everything's you can see and map out what you're doing, and then you can concentrate on your boxing. But you know, proper advice would be just make sure you're ready. Speak to your family, speak to people in the know who have been in your position, and just make sure at the time's right to then turn over and, you know, have a short career, but a good career.
Absolutely. Brilliant advice.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Liam. I
Yeah, no
appreciate it.
problem. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. And I look forward to when all this is over and fights get announced, and
Yeah,
hopefully
definitely.
we get to see you
Hopefully
lift
soon.
another world title soon. Yeah,
Thanks very
absolutely.
much. Nice one. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Liam.
Thanks for
See
having
you
me.
later. Thanks.
Ta-ra,
Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.